Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and I've got turn 10 of game 2 of the second round of Lucid's tournament. They've really been pounding out turns, about 2 a day, so let's go ahead and take a look at this one. So we got a message from Tianchi. Hi Cookies, I can't believe what I am seeing. Potala went and expanded into Indies, leaving their capital completely undefended against my force of 60 cavalry in their cap circle. Last turn, I was told Potala's Expo mercs were in 89, so I was expecting them to march to 102 to defend the capital. Instead, I saw the swamp at 98 flip to Potala. That means none of his armies that I am aware of have the map move to defend the capital. Yeah, that's what I was saying as well. With that, I believe that marks the beginning of the end for Potala. Yeah, he's planning to move on the cap and cut off all the income. I threw together a quick test last turn, and I'm confident I have the numbers to hold off a combined attack from everything he has, and the cherry on top is the free fort event I got at 118. So much for Misfortune 2. An event? Not like a site search? Wow, okay. So let's focus in on the player combat. It's just the two battles, it looks like. So we've got Bogotan. So Potala attacking, bringing the Sacreds. I'm not anticipating much of a defense. Yeah, it's just PD. He could have tried to destroy the army by meeting it in the field, but there's a lot more value to sieging down the cap and potentially raiding the cap using the raid command. So let's go ahead and see Potala. Alright, so we've got some, looks like some archer bait. Then we've got the main force in 3 segments. 3 main segments, I guess 4 squads, it looks like. And then we've got PD, a contingent of light Bandar archers, and a handful of Sacreds in a Nagaraja. I think this whole force is toast. So let's go ahead and watch the slaughter. I guess as a quick reminder, oh, did we not even get these guys blessed? Alright, so Potala didn't even bless the Sacreds. That wasn't part of the script. What script did you do? Stones can quicken self. Okay, but not blessing. Alright, so we have a scripting error from Potala, and then I need to find an ancestor vessel. And then as a reminder, natural protection and unaging from Tianchi. Kills 1 segment. The Sacreds are performing well. They're getting isolated fights. But everyone's routed now. The heavy cavalry have decided that they don't feel like completely wiping out everything. So they're going to shoot arrows for a bit. Okay. So lost some Barb Heavy Horsemen, didn't lose any Ancestor Vessels, killed the Nagaraja, killed 4 of the 5 Naga Warriors, killed all the Light Bandar Archers and 3 of the 4 Bandar Warriors. Potala will have 1 turn of recruitment inside of the capital. He loses his PD. And now his capital's under siege. So let's go take a quick look here. He did not opt for the raid command. I presume he feels confident at this point. There's no new forts coming up, so there's not going to be an outside source of income suddenly popping up. And, oh man, you're going to kill him with Bandar Warriors? Alright, so to add insult to injury, Tianchi has hired the Bandar Band to go take Patala. I suppose they could stay here and defend this 29 PD dump. And then we can see if the cavalry force can defend against all the mercs and whatnot. He's not going to be able to rehire the mercs, but he's probably going to kill them off. You could try to dodge the mercs, but I think he's just gonna just eat it and take the fight. What are we looking at here? We're looking at 76 troops, mostly Bandar archers. There are a few sacreds here and 4 Nagarajas. The phone's going ham. Okay. And then we've got about 60 troops here, but from the Merc menu, we know 46 of those are crossbows. So maybe that's like 140 something. What does he have left? Let's say 15 are down. So about 47-ish. He might want to bring these mercs in. Even though it risks the retreat route. Maybe... Oh, you've got the tiger here. If the tiger can also make it in, I don't think there's anything Patala can do. You maybe have enough barbarian horsemen that you can bring in to guard the retreat route. You also have the 29 PD dump. I'm not sure. I don't think Patala can risk really sending anything to cut the retreat route, though. Yeah, I think Patala's screwed. You got 2 Nagarajas that didn't even start walking back to the capital. Or if maybe they were over here. Yeah, that's rough. But if they were over here, they should have walked here. Maybe they were here. But if they were, they should have been here. I don't know why they're here. Just, yeah, I think Patala's toast. The new fort comes up in Uffenred. He said that was an event fort. There we go. Yeah, an event fort in 118. What was the event? A local lord has built a fort. Oh my gosh. Okay. So he gets a free fort in this wasteland here. A free rallying point, so to speak. He's got some crossbows on the way. There should be another batch of horsemen on the way soon. He's gone ahead and expanded here. Okay. So, yeah. Tianqi just rolling straight from expansion into a player war. Let's go ahead and check out expansion. So in Oscents, we've got Kaka. Heavy cavalry charge. I've never seen any expansion like this. The combo of skeletons and such heavily armored crossbows. It's really interesting, even if it's probably not kept pace with all the awakes in the game. I think it would have done well in a game with maybe fewer awakes. So we ping the throne. Let's see what's on the throne. A whole bunch of gems. Any loot? An enchanted pike. Alright. And then in Umbra, got a bunch of cave knights. Oh, cavemen. If ever there was a province to lose against, it would be this. Okay. Yeah, that went about how I thought it could. They would have needed a lucky route to win this. So that party's dead. In Eol, we've got the Virtue back on the prowl, killing some independents. All right. Then in Toledo, we've got Pyrene, a little force of heavy cavalry expanding away. I am interested in the fact that there doesn't seem to be further conflict between Man and Pyrene after those two parties of Cambion Knights ran into the Boar from Man. I wonder if they talked about it after. In the Caves of Madness, we've got the Royal Guard. I'm not anticipating them having any issues here. Okay. So lose this one in Nashin. This is TNG's expansion. They're still finishing up expansion even while killing Patala. Okay. So, let me see. So, lost a couple, but took out the Indies. Then Atlantis goes back to Blue Water. Oh, but this time we're rolling out a thug? Chest wound and battle fright. Not who I would send. 9 morale. Oh, is there just nothing left though? That's funny. The one ice guard. I don't know. I would have sent a real party so I could keep momentum going through that lake. Alright. Then we've got Pyrene going after Gilged. Another group of Cambion Knights. Alright. The Cambion Knight production seems to be online now, so a little bit more traditional parties. Alright, with Golem, we've got Agartha killing some pale ones. This should go a lot better than the cavemen. Okay. Then in Walden, we have some Sitis expansion. Pinging the throne after you just lost your dragon. We can see if there's any loot here. Got a Ring of Frost, lightweight scale mail, and a hardwood club. A rawhide shield, nothing too crazy. In Range of Faith, we have another Agarthan expansion, or a ping, I guess. Looking at a throne. We got the hardwood club. And then, what was that? Oh, Packwoods. Okay. So let's see it. I spoiled this one a little bit. But we've got the Dracolich going up against a throne. This is a lot of crossbows. These little assholes can be, if they apply fire damage, can be pretty annoying. It is enough damage that it could potentially poison the Dracolich too. Oh. Paralyzed. Who cast that? That is a hell of a roll. So that was a roll of 35 versus 26. Damn. Done in by Hannafel the Sorcerer. So we have our second awake going down here. All they have to do is not route to the fear effect. I say that as a bunch of them route to the fear effect, but the crossbows are going to finish it. Damn. Okay. So that's going to give Agartha some pause. They're going to have to start hiring some priests to get that back. And then we've got a Satis expansion. Let's see. It's brought in Victor's villains. Alright. That went pretty well. This is 5 light infantry. In a worldwide event, we get some extra cold. Alright. So we've talked a bit about Tianqi and Patala. We're pretty sure Patala's screwed, especially if the cat shows up to the cap fight and he kills both armies. I'm not... At that point, I don't think Patala can do anything. They're not going to have any gold income. I think they're just screwed at that point. And they're going to be screwed without these 2 Nagarajas showing up. So... Alright. Well, let's see. So... Tianqi also took this turn. Now, Satis is rolling through this cave. So we could have a bump here. Especially if these guys go into the cave, they're going to see Camazotz, they're going to think it's easy. Same thing for this crew, they're going to think it's easy Camazotz. There's 4 ancestor vessels in here, so we could get an interesting little fight. Also got Ichthids. Not mercs, but they're going to go ahead and try to take out these Tritons in this lake. He's going to take a full border with Calum. This crew is going to have an interesting time against Satis. I think they can win, but it is a fair number of halberdiers, and although they don't have dark vision, does Satis not get dark vision? I thought they had dark vision. I guess not. Okay. That'll be an interesting fight. I don't think 16 is enough to hold back Tianqi. So I think Tianqi is probably going to take it. If the Zots cause some attrition to someone, that could also play a role. We'll just have to wait and see. Alright. But yeah, Tianqi continuing their pretty crazy expansion. Atlantis got a favorable border with them, but they've done well everywhere else. So, and they're sitting on someone's capital. Alright. And then, yeah, no respect for Calum up here. Alright. As we scroll on over, the other player in this row is Atlantis. So they've taken Blue Water, but they didn't send a full party up here to be able to maybe try and go for these Triton Guard, which I think is a little strange. I think you should send probably all these Ice Guard up here and try to take the Triton Guard after. So, not sure what's happening there. Maybe he's intending to start a fort here in the meantime. He did find this Forgotten Fortress, and I think he's got this one coming up. and this one coming up. So he's got 2 forts under construction. So he's going to have 4. He has started doing some hiring here, mainly Ice Guard. And he's got another force of Ice Guard here, probably intending... I don't know about cavemen. Probably intending to take out these Triton Guard, is my guess. It's definitely time to go after the underwater. Unless he saw what happened to the Dracolich on this province. I think the Dracolich is partially amphibious, right? Or I guess it wasn't there. It was here. Yeah, poor amphibian. So, I mean, you never know. It could show up with, like, maybe a piece of gear or something, kill all these Tritons. But otherwise, he's doing all right. Still has more space to expand. 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. Did get a couple of, like, semi-unfavorable borders. Should have a favorable one with Agartha and Tianqi, which is somewhat impressive, assuming he takes this. But yeah, I would like to see him go ahead and take this if he can, this wasteland. He might have given this to Patala, but Patala is not going to be around much longer. So I'd try to get both of these. I think if somebody wins their first war like this and you're still kind of finishing up expansion, I think it's fair to take the full border if you can. Well, you got to be somewhat careful because you might have to fight Tianqi on both sides of you. And then, but yeah, I was hoping to see more Ice Guard here to go after this stuff, especially this one. But we'll see. I'm sure he's got a plan. All right, so that's it for Atlantis, Patala, and Tianqi. Let's go look at Satis. So Satis lost their dragon last turn. They've got a lot of troops massing along the Agarthan border. They could be marching over to... Okay, they've got a fort under construction here. They could be marching over to defend this fort construction and maybe think about taking this throne. That would certainly be a valid play. Did he ping it? Or no, that was just the Dracolich. He's been pinging this, but he hasn't been moving towards it. Any other thrones? Or forts, sorry. So he's got a fort going up here, a fort going up here. Oh, and a fort here. So we've got 3 forts going up. And a fort here. Oh my goodness. Okay. So 4 forts. If all this infrastructure comes up, it's going to be insane. So we'll have to see what happens there. He's going to be able to produce so much stuff if all this stuff comes up. I would try to guard these fort constructions. Oh, just this one is misfortune. He's generally got luck. Okay. Let's see. How many cave provinces? Satis has 2? I think it's just 9 caves. Yeah, it's just 9 caves. All right, 1 for each player. So he's got 2 underground. And that's 4, 8, 12, 16. So 16 is pretty decent. A little bit room for maybe some more stuff. He's probably going to bump Tianqi, though. We'll see how that goes next turn. And then... yeah, it looks like he's also thinking about thrones. Although there's still a fair number of caves open. Alright, he is recruiting a lot, and when these forts come up, he's going to be able to recruit a ton. And if he does temples first, he should be able to get the priests he needs in the meantime to be able to bring back his dragon. All right. So pretty cool stuff from Satis. Looks like a lot of tall scaling for the moment. I don't think he's looking to start a first war just yet. For Marignon, we've got the one fort that's come up. We've got another fort on this cave coming up. Another fort here. So 2 more forts, it looks like, unless I've missed one. Is he also in the cave? He is in the cave. I remember this. So he's got 2 cave provinces. So 4, 6, 9, 12, 13, 17, 18. So he's had pretty good expansion. Went ahead and taken his full border with Patala, which it should be pretty fair. He might try to vulture a bit too. That remains to be seen, but I think he's got some borderlands with Calum he can also go get. He's got a rather large party here, might be building up to take on this throne. Looks like, I assume he left this for Satis, so this is part of his agreement with Satis. Yeah, I don't know if he wants to fight these sacreds, but I don't know, should be some space to go ahead. Like, if he brought some royal guard and whatnot from the capital, could go after Bonelands and potentially bump Calum. Maybe that could lead into a first war with Calum. We'll have to see. He is recruiting scouts over here. That could be to scout Calum. Probably wondering why there's still Indies here and here and here. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at Calum. Calum's at 3, 6, 9, 10 on turn 10. It's definitely too slow for expansion. But he's got consistent little parties that are moving around. Should be able to get one more. Here, he does have another fort under construction. Okay, so he'll have like a triad of forts. He's recruiting Raven Guard, which are pretty cool, stealthy, 2-handed raiders, I think. Yeah, short sword and dagger, stealthy flyers, 14 protection, super solid troop. So he might be planning to try and elf someone. I don't know who he's gonna elf, though. If he knew about the Black Dragon from Satis, he could try to elf Satis before some of these forts go up. But I think he's so small at this point, I think he needs a partner to attack someone. All right. Next up, we've got Pyrene. So Pyrene's at 5, 10, 11, 12. I don't think they're in the caves. Nope. Any forts going up? We've got a lab, presumably for an independent mage. Yeah, no forts going up. So very slow momentum. Sorry, he's at 5, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Also a little bit small in terms of provinces. Didn't didn't really get any favorable borders. Did get a tied border. And has the potential to tie with Calum, but he has to actually move something over there. Presumably this group from the cap. Could have taken this instead of bumping Man's Pretender. We do see a large man army. I think it's heading for this throne, though. And then we see 110 troops in the capital, so he's got a big buildup in the capital. All right, well, let's talk about man a little bit. 4, 8, 12, 13. Also a little small. I think typically with Map Nuke you want 15, but given there's 2 lakes and those aren't always easy to get into, I think you want 14. And then you want to start fighting over the lakes and the thrones. So I think 13 puts them a little small. Got unfavorable borders with Agartha, Marignan, a tied border with Patala, which he has the potential to vulture, and a favorable border with Pyrene. I think a first war with Pyrene makes an awful lot of sense for man. Let's see, any forts going up? We do have a fort going up in Ostmark that he's protecting with his Pretender, and another one in Zenthra that his army's on. So we should see a little bit of scaling. This is the Throne of the Artificer would be a pretty good get for man. And then these are both right-leaning forts. Or eastward leaning. So that would make for a very short line of supply to attacking Pyrene. So somewhat aggressive fort placement. And I do think he would be favored in that war if nobody intervened. This is still a little busy north of him. May have some concerns over Agartha. And then may have some concerns over Marignan. But Marignan's looking at Calum, which he doesn't appear to be, but I would be if I were playing Marignan. And maybe Man and Agartha could split Pyrene. It seems reasonable. 2 of the human crossbow nations working together. Another option would be to ally with Pyrene, but I don't know how I'd feel about that after he just tried to take my forest. But all right, and then we've got Agartha. Now Agartha is mucking around in the caves. They did have one party get its ass kicked, but they've got 4 cave provinces, so they've done the biggest amount of cave spelunking, and I think they have a lot to gain from going down in the caves. They're about to pick up the C11s. They don't realize that yet. So they've got 4 provinces there, and 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 18, 19, 20. So they're at 20 provinces, if I counted that right, which is fantastic for turn 10. They've got 1 fort under construction, 2 forts. Three forts, so they've got another one over near the man border. Okay, so they've got several forts under construction. They're making a lot of troops. If some of those forts come up soon, they'll make even more troops. But yeah, this has been great expansion. Really only detracted from by losing their Dracolich on the throne. So, but yeah, so we've had 2 awake pretenders perish, Satis and Agartha. So they probably won't want to be fighting each other. I'm not sure if they saw each other's mistakes. Satis probably almost certainly saw Agartha, but I'm not sure if he'd be able to take advantage of it. He's probably just happy he gets to build his forts. And yeah, and we have the very fast moving war / rush from Tianqi into Patala, and then Patala's forces being out of position. And I think Patala's toast. It's going to take Tianqi a while to crack 1500 wall strength, though. So I see him sending a lot of... If he kills both these forces, I could see him sending a lot of smaller raiding parties out and about to try and claim the territory. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. And I will go ahead and see you guys in the next one in turn 11. We haven't reached the sort of like official consensus end for the expansion phase of the game, but we've already got some pretty exciting player combat. So I hope you guys will join me next time, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.